Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is What If Naruto Had Half Heart and Half Gold Part 7. Last time we left off with Naruto beating Gaara, and now we start off the story with Kakashi. Well, uh, sorry, I read the wrong line. So, Naruto returns, well, he gets carried to the hospital by Asuma, and then other Jonin come and carry everyone else, and then basically um, once Naruto wakes up in the hospital, he's told about the third Hokage's death, and he started crying and said, "Where's Konohamaru? Where's my mom?" And basically them two walked in. Konohamaru was crying, and his mom was like, "It's don't cry," and basically she is shedding a tear. Same with Asuma, and they're all sad that he died, but it is what it is. And Naruto says, "Wait, if Grandpa died, who's the next Hokage?" And then Jiraiya comes in, and Jiraiya says, "Naruto, you're coming with me." And then Naruto asks, "What do you mean?" And Jiraiya basically says he's been offered the fifth Hokage spot, but he declined. And then Naruto's like, "Why would you decline?" And he's like, "I have my spy network." And then he's like, "I have my spy network to keep up." And basically, and then Naruto's like, "Then what do you mean I'm coming with you?" And Jiraiya is like, "I have someone in mind that is perfect for the fifth Hokage spot, and you're coming with me to find her." And Naruto's like, "Alright." And then his mom's like, no, he's not going. He's injured. He just fought a tail beast, and he needs resting. And Asuma's like, "She got a point there, Master Jiraiya." And then Naruto's like, "It's fine. I'm fully healed. Look." And then basically he freezes. Well, he makes a ice sword, and he's like, "Look, I can use my ice again." And they're like, "Okay, but you only have 3 weeks." And Jiraiya's like, "We don't know how long it could take. It could even take up to a month or maybe 2." And they're like, "Alright, as long as you protect him, it's fine." And while this was all happening, there was a fight between the two Akatsuki members, Kakashi and Itachi, against Kisame and Kakashi. No, I mean Kisame and Itachi versus Kakashi and Might Guy. I'll say that this time Asuma wasn't there since he was in the hospital, and Kuronai went because she was with Asuma, and Asuma went. So they weren't there, but Guy and Kakashi were like they are OP together. So the Akatsuki members had to retreat, but Kakashi still put under the Genjutsu, the Tsukiyomi, and he is pretty much traumatized. And so after that, basically, they did still have the Hokage's funeral, and Naruto did go now, and so Kakashi didn't attend it this time. He will attend it later. Well, he will go and pay his respects once he's healed. So they are told about what happened, and they believe that Naruto we need to find the fifth Hokage quick, because Kakashi needs healing. No one can heal him except for Tsunade, because Jiraiya knows Tsunade is the best healer in the world, and the leaf is way too weak without a fifth Hokage. So Naruto and Jiraiya leave the same day, and by the way, the Gaara and his party left a bit before, and Gaara did leave a letter to Naruto saying, "I'll be going. I'll see you, and hope we meet again." And Naruto is happy that at least Gaara left him a letter, and he heads out, and basically he says bye to his team, and also Hinata, Shino, and the other friends, and he goes out. And he's with well, while this was happening, basically Sasuke woke up, and I'll say he found out about the 2 days passed now, and Naruto is still learning. Is still trying to master the Rasengan. He already learned the 2 steps, but he needs to completely master it. So he's training, and he's in a hotel room, trying to actually do the Rasengan. And then he hears a knock on the door. He wants to open it, but he is cautious about this since what happened to the leaf getting attacked, and he is a Jinchuriki, so he is one of the targets of the Akatsuki from what he heard, and he's cautious. So he makes so as soon as he opens the door, he freezes the 2 men, and he sees that it's they're wearing black clothes with cloaks with red clouds on it, and he knows this description of 2 men wearing these types of clothes, and he knows it's the Akatsuki. So he decides to back up, and he puts more ice so they can't see him anymore, and he's about to retreat. But then Kisame breaks the ice in less than a second, and Naruto realizes that he's in trouble, and then basically he hears a voice calling out to Itachi, and he recognizes this voice. He hears Sasuke, and basically what he does, he hears the lightning release. He hears him scream out lightning release, burning Chidori, and basically he attacks Itachi. He sees Itachi basically strangling him, and this just makes him want to fight now. And he tries the Rasengan on Kisame. Kisame doesn't know what this is. He did see it, well, he heard it from Itachi before, but he thought it would be stronger, and he just absorbs. Well, he doesn't even need to absorb. It was too weak to even be absorbed by Samhara. So he basically grabs Naruto's hand, swings him, and throws him onto the other side of the wall, and then basically Jiraiya appears, and he makes the Akatsuki retreat, and then Guy comes and takes Sasuke, since he is put under the same genjutsu as Kakashi was. And now the demand for a 5th Hokage and Tsunade is much higher. And so basically the same night, no, I'll say a night later, so a day later at night, Naruto and Jiraiya are gone to a tavern to get some food, and they hear some lady screaming and saying, "I will win my next bet." And Jiraiya recognizes this voice and says, "This must be Tsunade," and looks to her and says, "Tsunade, we've been searching for you." And Tsunade's like, "What?" And then because she knows who Jiraiya is, but she doesn't know who this kid is. He looks like the full Hokage, but she doesn't know. So Jiraiya tells her about what happened, and she starts laughing, saying that fool was still the Hokage after the 4th Hokage died. What a fool. All the Hokages are fool. Even the 4th. He died so young. But of course, every Hokage has a bad fate. Destiny just doesn't like them. And Naruto is pissed off at this, because not only did he hear her badmouth the 4th Hokage and all the other Hokage, but also his grandfather, and he doesn't know Minato is his father yet, I'll say that. And basically he says, "You old hag, why are you disrespecting the Hokages? They were great men." And she's like, "Who you calling old hag, brat?" And then basically they start fighting, and they take it outside. And basically what happens here is that Tsunade says, "I'll beat you with one finger," and then Naruto's like, "Don't get too cocky." And basically Naruto basically starts by blitzing her. She didn't really see him, but she was able to block his punch with the one finger. Yes, she backed up a bit and blocked it, and then basically kicked him on the chin. And once he fell, he thought that maybe he should try the Rasengan again, and he says, he basically makes a clone, because he realized, yes, he did master the Rasengan, and by the time they found her, and he makes a clone, but he doesn't call it the master Rasengan, since he doesn't know how to do it with one hand. So he makes a clone, and he runs up to Tsunade with the clone, and basically Tsunade cracks the ground with her finger, and Naruto just falls into the crack, and Rasengan is a failure, and she calls Jiraiya a fool for trying to teach Naruto, or this kid, the brat, the Rasengan, and Naruto's like, listen, and she's like, he'll never master it. And Naruto's like, are you sure about that? And she's like, how about we make a bet? If you can master it in a week, I'll come back and I'll give you this necklace. But if you don't master it, you leave me the hell alone. And Naruto's like, oh really? Alright. And he makes another clone, and the Rasengan's formed. And Tsunade's eyes are widened by this, and she's like, wait, what? But how? And Naruto's like, yeah, you cracked the ground too fast for me to complete the Rasengan technique. But look, I already know it, so I technically win the bet, right? And then Tsunade's like, no, look, Jiraiya and the fourth Hokage were able to do it with one hand, while you're still doing it with a clone, so it doesn't count. And Naruto takes this as a challenge and says, alright, I'll master it by in a week with one hand, and I will win the bet and you'll come back. And she's like, alright. And here the events are pretty similar. Tsunade doesn't know about Naruto's Kekkei Genkai or quirk, so here the events go the same until Naruto basically arrives with the Shizune and Jiraiya to save Tsunade, who was pretty much paralyzed because of her fear of blood, and she was about to get stabbed, but Naruto comes in, blocks the kunai with his own hand, and he's like, I'm not scared of you, Kabuto, because he knows who Kabuto is, and since he was in the Chunin exams, and basically kicks him back and says, and Kabuto's like, Naruto Uzumaki, you're a real pest. And while this was happening, Shizune and Jiraiya were fighting Orochimaru, and basically what Naruto did is he placed a marker on Kabuto's hand. Kabuto didn't realize yet, since he was about to use his chakra scalpels, and he didn't realize it, so he's using them. Naruto's dodging and weaving around hand seals, and he says water style, water shockwave, and Kabuto gets blown back, and then Naruto's like lightning release, lightning stream, and basically Kabuto gets paralyzed for a second, but since he knows how to heal, he was healing real fast, and he was able to move a bit, just enough to dodge Naruto's next attack, which was the Rasengan. Naruto did it with one hand. He flew he jumped up, and then he made a clone with the other hand, his left hand, without using the seal that he usually does with two hands. He can do it with one, and the other clone basically gave Naruto a boost, and Naruto basically was flying towards, well, not flying, he got thrown by his clone towards Kabuto. Kabuto dodges just in time, but Naruto says it's not over yet, and he teleports where Kabuto's hand is. He steps on his hand, the chakra scalpel, and shoves the Rasengan up his face. And Tsunade sees that Naruto not only did he use a combo technique, but a combo jutsu, but he used the shadow clone he used the shadow clone as a catapult, or a spring, or even a boost, if someone wants to say that, as a boost. And he not only did he master the Rasengan with one hand in a week, but also he knows the flying Raijin, and she can see now that Naruto looks a lot like the fourth Hokage, and it knows the fourth Hokage's techniques, and she has a suspicion that Naruto is the fourth Hokage's son. She doesn't know yet, but she has a suspicion. And then basically Naruto sees that Kabuto blocked the Rasengan just barely. He still got injured, he's bruised and everything, his face is cut up, but he's not completely out of the fight, he can still fight. But then Naruto says it's not over yet, and he says you'll be frozen, and he summons the coldest ice he can summon, just the ice that he used against Kurama, and Kabuto's completely frozen in place, and he's like, what? And he knows that the ice that Naruto used, he knows that Naruto can use ice release just like the fourth Hokage, but he didn't know that the ice was this strong, since he thought that Orochimaru was broke out of it extremely easily, since Naruto did a whole iceberg, but still Orochimaru was able to get out of it, because that was the weak ice, enough to just block a Genin. But this ice can stop even an Akatsuki member and even a Hokage level fighter if Naruto really tries. And Naruto says, this fight is over, if you move one more time I'll kill you. And basically Kabuto is like, shut up, brat. Just saying, Kabuto's arms are not fully frozen, it's just his legs and his back, so he can't really bend down or something. He can only look towards Naruto, and basically Kabuto is able to get rid of the seal, and because the seal wasn't as strong as the fourth Hokage seal, but it was actually a bit weak enough that even Kabuto was able to dispel the seal. And Naruto's like, oh, god damn it, I was going to teleport towards him and Rasengan him again. And basically then Naruto just faints, and Kabuto's like, finally it worked. And Naruto's like, what do you mean? And Kabuto's like, when you shoved the Rasengan in my face, I cut your hamstrings with my chakra scalpel, so you can't stand up for a while, Naruto Uzumaki. And that while is enough for me to break out this weak ice. And the ice started breaking since Naruto's chakra is weakening, and the ice weakens as soon as Naruto's chakra is completely gone, and it's starting to melt really fast since Naruto didn't keep up the temperature. And Naruto's like, even if you break out of it, I won't let you survive this. And basically Naruto summons a red flame, which is speeding towards Kabuto, and then he turns blue out of the heat the flame contains. And Kabuto realizes he's in a bad situation, and he reverse summons. He does a reverse summoning jutsu onto next to Orochimaru, and says, we need to retreat, we're not going to win like this. And Orochimaru actually understands that Kabuto is injured. He's injured, he can barely do, and he can't even do jutsus, and Kabuto, it was his only weapon right there. So they retreated, and Naruto is healed by Tsunade. Tsunade did get rid of her fear of blood, because she now has to become the Hokage, and Naruto just showed her how he was able to fight off someone like him when she was just paralyzed there, and she wants to become strong just like Naruto. And she heals him, gives him the necklace and a kiss on the forehead, and then they return to the village. And Naruto is now back in the village. He's actually still injured, but he's happy that now the village has a third Hokage, the fifth Hokage, third. And his mother's happy. Konohama is actually accepts that Tsunade straight away, instead of having that whole filler arc. Well, he doesn't accept her, which made no sense, but whatever. Naruto now decides that they have to go heal Lee, Kakashi and Kakashi and Sasuke. So first they heal Kakashi. Kakashi thanks her and says, I'll be going to pay my respects to the third Hokage. And Naruto's like, yeah, you should, he did a lot for us. And basically Kakashi's like, thank you Naruto, thank you Master Jiraiya, thank you Tsunade. And he body flickers away, even though he needs rest. He just wants to go and respect the third Hokage and then come back. And now they go to Sasuke. Sasuke still has his little fight with Naruto, just that this time Naruto decides that Sasuke needs to learn his lesson. Even though Sasuke is really strong, he's having a hard time keeping up with Sasuke thanks to his training. And Naruto decides that he had enough, and basically says, ice release, ice binding jutsu, and he binds Sasuke. And basically Sasuke actually is able to break out of it, since Naruto wasn't really thinking of Sasuke being able to break out of it, so he did a weak ice, and he's completely stunned by this. And Sasuke jumps backwards onto the tank, and then he jumps on top of like a building next to it, and then jumps towards Naruto's, screaming out, lightning release burning Chidori, and Naruto says, "Oh god damn it, whatever." Then he jumps up, and then he makes a shadow clone with one hand, and the shadow clone throws him into Sasuke, and he has a Rasengan. He shouts at Rasengan, and basically Kakashi arrives just in time, right before they collide. A bit later, because it was so close to colliding, but Kakashi arrived in the millisecond before it and threw them away, and says, "God damn it, I'm still slow," and he says you shouldn't fight, and basically Sasuke thinks that he technically won since he pretty much has made a bigger hole into the tank, whilst Naruto's wants just a small hole. But then once Sasuke jumps off the hospital building, he sees that Naruto's Rasengan did a like there was a massive hole at the back of it, and he realizes that Naruto's still stronger, and he's pissed, so he goes off, and Kakashi's like, "Who taught you this move? We couldn't have been." And Naruto's like, "Yes, it was Jiraiya," and Jiraiya's like, and then Kakashi's like, "You know that's a really dangerous technique, right, Master Jiraiya?" And Jiraiya's like, "Then who taught Sasuke the Chidori, and how did Sasuke even improve it by adding fire release to it?" And Kakashi's like, "I taught him that to protect himself and his friends, not to attack his own comrades." And Jiraiya's like, "Yes, Naruto, I taught you that as well. Or I told you never to use it on against someone you can kill. You know that perfectly, Naruto." And Naruto apologizes and says, "I'm sorry. I was just in the heat of the moment." He's forgiven, and Kakashi does still go and talks to Sasuke, and Sasuke's still pissed off at this, and he does still meet the Sound 4, and he's offered the chance to go with Orochimaru to gain more strength, and this time he accepts straight away instead of thinking about it. And they say, "Okay, pack your stuff, we'll be leaving at this time at night." And he still leaves at the same time, and I'll say Naruto was walking around just taking a little breather before going back home and sleeping. And then he sees Sasuke, basically he sees a figure, a black figure, just jumping out of the village, and he thinks to himself, "What was that? Am I that tired?" And then he sees Sakura on the floor, and he goes up to Sakura and picks her up and says, "What happened?" He wakes her up, of course, and Sakura's like, "It's Sasuke. He escaped. He left the village." And Naruto's eyes widen to this. He wants to go and get Sasuke straight away, but he cannot. It's against the rules of the village, and also he needs a team. He doesn't know who's trying to take Sasuke. Imagine he's with someone like Orochimaru. Orochimaru has comrades that are really strong, maybe even stronger than him. Maybe even and Orochimaru is on the level of Isanin. So if Orochimaru is there with Kabuto again and they're healed, he will stand no chance. So he tells Tsunade. Tsunade does still make a team. It's actually made out of Naruto, Hinata, Shikamaru, Choji, Kiba, and Akamaru and Neji. Also Shino. So here the fights go a bit different. So Choji and Shino stay back. Akamaru and Kiba stay back together. Then it's Neji and Neji and Hinata, yeah. And then Shikamaru says, "Go Naruto, you have to get Sasuke back." And Naruto's like, "Are you sure about this?" And he's like, "Yeah." And while this was happening, Lee was dispatched. Lee was blitzing through trees, and he was at top speeds, even faster than all of them put together, except for Naruto. Naruto wasn't really trying to go that fast, but now he's full on speed mode, and he does still get stopped by Kimimaro. This time the fight is actually a lot cooler, since it's two people with two unique Kekkei Genkais. Kimimaro with the bone Kekkei Genkai, and Naruto with the fire and half hot and half cold, of course. And the fight is actually really interesting. So Kimimaro actually has to go curse mark 1 state, and his stamina is going faster than how fire burns wood, and he realizes he's losing stamina, so he basically goes into curse mark 2 state for a second, just for a second, to do his strongest bone technique, and he's basically a mountain of bones appearing from the ground and stabbing Naruto. But of course, Naruto was able to counter this with his own ice and fire. His blue fire was burning through bones, while his ice was freezing them and then breaking them. Basically, he was freezing them before while they were going up, and then Naruto is basically kicking them and vibrating. Well, you know, the vibration from the kick, it's causing a chain reaction to break every single bone afterwards. And he keeps doing that, but he realizes he's running out of chakra, because he used a lot of chakra against a Curse Mark 1 Kimimaru. Remember, Kimimaru and Curse Mark 2, the Edo Kimimaru, of course, he was keeping up with KCM1 Naruto. It's not easy to keep up with KCM1 Naruto, and remember, reanimations are actually weaker than the actual person. Like Hashirama stated that he hasn't got his full strength like he used to when he was reanimated, but let's not talk about that. Kimimaru was a bit stronger, to be honest, when he was reanimated, since he didn't have any handicaps. But then Lee arrives in his gates already, and he breaks every single bone, and because there weren't that many left, and tells Naruto, "Go Naruto, I got this." And Naruto's like, "Are you sure, Lee? You just had an operation." And Lee's like, "It's fine. The legendary Sanin Tsunade healed me, or should I say the 5th Hokage." And Naruto's like, "Thank you, Lee." And he leaves. Naruto is actually really drained, and he's asking the Nine Tails for chakra, and the Nine Tails like, "No, I won't give you chakra. You don't deserve it. You should be able to fight him with ease, Naruto Uzumaki. If you can't beat him, you will never be able to beat me." And Naruto's like, "Oh, you stubborn fox. Why?" And basically, Kuroma's like, "Shut up and look in front of you." And Naruto looks in front of him. He sees Sasuke on top of the of Mother Uchiha's stone in you know, the thing at the Valiant of the end. And Sasuke is looking at Naruto and says, "Naruto, I knew you'd be here. Why'd you come get me?" And Naruto's like, "Listen, you have to come back to the village. You shouldn't leave to go with Orochimaru." And Sasuke is there, "Shut up." And basically goes Curse Mark 2. They start the fight. Naruto still has to go to One Tails because of his rage, and Kuroma's taking advantage of this. But Naruto's actually conscious and says, "You stubborn fox, you actually gave me a chakra, didn't you?" And the fox is like, "Even if I give you chakra, this has repercussions on you." And Naruto's like, "What kind of repercussions?" While fighting, of course, he's saying in his mind. And Kuroma's like, "Every time you use my chakra, the seal gets weaker. And once it's weak enough, I'll be able to break out of here and take over your body." And Naruto's like, "We'll see about that. Once you break out, I'll be able to beat you by then." And Kuroma starts laughing and says, "You stupid little brat. You think you're strong? Then why do you have to use my power to beat someone like Sasuke Uchiha?" And Naruto's like, why do you hate everyone so much?" And Kuroma's like, "I have my reasons." And Naruto's like, "Alright, whatever. One day I will come back for you and I will beat you. And I will make you my comrade as well." Since Naruto does still have the same mindset, and he's gone and he's fighting Sasuke. Now he's fully enraged. This time he goes Two Tails. Yes, Two Tails, because he's more enraged that Sasuke isn't listening. And I'll say that Sasuke, since he trained a lot harder in his Curse Marks 2 state, he was able to keep up with Naruto and Two Tails. And Naruto fully lost consciousness now. It was just the Nine Tails fighting. And they still do have the Rasengan and Chidori clash. And this time, I'll say Naruto and Sasuke's arm are fully broken. And Sasuke escapes, and Naruto is... Since Naruto didn't have as much chakra, since he had that intense fight with Kimimaru on nearly on Curse Mark 2 state, it was really hard for him to keep up. But that's where I'm going to end it off. This was 30 minutes long. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please join my Discord, follow me on Twitter. and Instagram. Also, subscribe to Miniman123. He always provides me with gameplay. And also subscribe to RATREET. He made my Discord server. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed. Stay safe. This is the King of Weebs here, and peace.